Well, it's Friday. Normally, the Fridays are just the day before the weekend. So, today, on this particular Friday, for all of you, I'm going to be reviewing, of course, MARIGOLD. So, just to clarify certain things, I'm not going to be reviewing, of course, the Burning Desire tour. It was just way too much to catch up. So, I decided to skip ahead and move on with, of course, with their round robin tournament, which is of course the Dream Star Grand Prix that recently started late July. So we're gonna go from there and move forward. So I am fully aware of certain matches that took place, but that doesn't matter. So we're gonna be doing, of course, the opening round of the uh, Dream Star Grand Prix. It's a two-show, one-day event, a morning show and an evening show. So as you probably know, the same kind of rules applied, of course, as we've seen in the G1, we've seen, of course, in Stardom, and various other promotions that do the same kind of system. So we're going to go from A to B, on A to Z, my bad, on this one. So we'll see how things progress, and then as always, we'll cap up our episode as normal with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the United Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. Let's get the party started. So, as I mentioned, it's about MARIGOLD. So let's do the first two shows of the opening rounds of the Dream Star Grand Prix. Okay, MARIGOLD, the Dream Star Grand Prix 2025, and this took place on the August 2nd, and of course in the EDION Arena Osaka number 2. Now, for those who are not familiarized with this, you got to remember that right now it's been almost a year since MARIGOLD first launched, and I think we're about to reach a year and a half mark or so. So they've been around for that long. And of course, no one expected ever since they launched that they were going to have a round robin tournament, which later became the Dream Star Grand Prix. And of course, it's the same kind of rules that apply like we've seen in every tournament in Japan. If you win a match, you get 2 points. Lose a match, 0 points. But in a situation of a time limit draw or double count out or a draw, whatever it goes, the entire thing goes into, of course, 1 point each for the competitors. And of course, the calculations begun in this one. Now, the only difference now in this particular tournament is that they have Mayu Iwatani involved. Now, of course, if you guys are big fans of Mayu, you probably would say she probably looks likely to win. However, you got to remember last year we had, of course, Utami Ayashida as last year's winner, and now she's determined to get a second, of course, back-to-back win in hopes. Last time she wasn't the champion, but she won the tournament and won the MARIGOLD world title from Sareee. So as you all know, that's how it portrays over there. So we'll see how things will go. Now, the first match, which is a pre-show before we start the tournament, we feature Megaton, Nagisa Tachibana, Hummingbird, and now Ishikawa. They take on Shino, Yuka Yamasaki, Minami Yuki, and Komomo Minami. So, of course, nothing too special about this whatsoever. And these are competitors, if you guys are asking yourselves, they're not involved in the tournament, but I'm sure they'll place seconds to every wrestler involved in the tournament. The match was okay, I'm not going to lie about that, but this match ended with a twist of fate by Yuka Yamasaki onto Megaton, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, of course, like any other tournament involving, of course, we have the opening ceremony introducing everybody who's involved in the tournament. Let's call that the roll call. Now, got to keep in mind, the blocks are divided in two. There's the Dream League and the Star League. So I will be, in fact, of course, keep you guys updated which league is happening now. Now, the first one is the Dream League. First, we have Chiaki versus Seri Yamaoka. Now, of course, Chiaki, those who know, she is a heel. She is part of the Darkness Revolution. These ladies are determined to win one way or another to prove their point that they are the dominant faction, or should I say the only dominant faction in MARIGOLD. But Seri Yamaoka is a very sensational young rookie. Many of you were surprised how she was able to pick up her first win, and of course, in the amount of her time, she won the MARIGOLD Twin Star Championship with Nanane Takahashi. She was a tag champ with her, and that was a very impressive thing to see. But now you ask yourself, how is Yamaoka going to survive against Chiaki, who likes to cheat? Well, one thing is another. Seri Yamaoka, I have to say, she had learned a lot from Nanane, and that helped her. And she was able to put her in her pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Seri Yamaoka got her first 2 points, leaving Chiaki with 0. Now we jump into Star League block. We have Nagisa Nozaki taking on Kizuna Tanaka. Now, of course, we all know Nagisa Nozaki is a member of Darkness Revolution, and that she will do whatever it takes to win her matches. And that's exactly what she tried. But she applied, of course, the Lance Nor right onto Kizuna, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. She got her first 2 points. Now we jump back to the Dream League. We have Rhea Seto versus Kyoki Amori. Now, for those who don't know, when I missed out on the Burning Desire tour, Rhea Seto became the newest member of Darkness Revolution due to the fact that she felt that she was being overlooked and overshadowed by people like Victoria Yuzuki, and she felt that she cannot let Victoria Yuzuki's success overshadow her, and she became that person, like trying to be the youngest member of Darkness Revolution to overcome all of that. But she's facing against someone who is we all know is, well, she used to be the former GHC Women's Champion until she lost that belt to Takumi Iroha. So you probably guessed that would play out, but nope, it took a big boot by Kyoki to take her out, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Kyoki Amori takes her first 2 points, leaving Rhea Seto with just 0. Now, our next 2 matches are part of the Star League. First, we have Chika Goto versus Mirai. Now, of course, we all know Mirai is a strong wrestler. She is very capable of taking care of herself. We all know she is strong. She refuses to give up. Chiaki Goto, we know she has struggled. She's determined to overcome whatever throws at her. And I have to say, the only good thing that she can do is the big the big swing, but that wasn't enough because it was Mirai that was able to pick up the win by pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now our next match we have still part of the Star League is Mitsa Matsui versus Miku Ano. Now it's no secret these two ladies know each other too well from their Atlas Girls days, but Mitsa Matsui always felt that Miku Ano was too good for her own good. As you probably know, Miku Ano feels that, Mitsa Matsui is a bit of a rebel, she's a bit of a troublemaker. Well, no one expected her to join Darkness Revolution, and now she's growing up. Like, she feels like, Miku Ano, I'm not that person you remember anymore, so I'm going to beat your ass up. And that's exactly what she tried to do. And I think many people were behind Miku Ano. She is a force to be reckoned with in the ring. But somehow, it was Mitsa Matsui that overcome it and put her in the bridge. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Mitsa Matsui pulled up an upset. And I don't think Miku Ano actually expected this. But it's also a clear message that she is now rising to the occasion. I mean, she did pin the former United National Champion, the white belt champion, and that's exactly what happened. So we'll see how things will progress in her future down the road. We'll keep an eye more on her progress in the tournament, and we'll see how that plays out. Now we go back to the Dream League. We have Maria versus Mayu Iwatani. Now originally it was supposed to be Senka Asuki, but due to the fact that she was not well, she was replaced by Mirai, by Marvelous. And of course, Mayu Iwatani noticed how she wasn't feeling it. She was just sitting down like I'm bored out of my ass, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So that's what she tried to do. But of course, Maria actually became a heel during Marvelous. I think I might have reviewed that. But of course, she is one half of the MARIGOLD Twin Star Tag Champions with Riko Kawahara, and of course you probably would expect that Maria would try to do whatever it takes to win, but you cannot defeat someone who is the ace of Yoshi Wrestling like Mayu Iwatani. But it was Mayu that picked up the win when she applied a roll-up, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now back to our the Star League, we have Chanyota versus Mai Sakurai. This, I have to say, is a very interesting match because, for those who may or may not remember, these two ladies first met during a New Blood event by Stardom, and of course, Mai Sakurai was the one that who won that match, and then ever since then, they became tag partners. And then when, of course, Chanyota made her debut in MARIGOLD, she went after, of course, Mai Sakurai's white belt title, which she currently has. And of course, that was also a good match. But the real question is, this is how things go. Mai Sakurai already has 2 wins of her, but the real question is, can Mai Sakurai pull it off? And I think Chanyota might have learned a few things. I mean, we have seen her, how much she has grown. I mean, you all know the background on her. She was attempting to become a cop, then she became a adult actress, that sort of thing. But she, in my opinion, has grown so much since we've seen her over time. And she was able to pick up the win on her when she applied. I don't know if it was a Blue Thunder Bomb, and that's exactly what it was. I was like, damn, that was good. I was so surprised about that match. And I couldn't believe that Chanyota pulled up an upset. But here's the thing. Even if she does not win the tournament, she could actually cash in another opportunity for the white belt. And I think that would be something we could definitely see in the near future. Now, our main event, we have, of course, the Dream League. And this one's a very one I think no one wants to miss, which is Victoria Yuzuki versus our current MARIGOLD World Champion, Utami Ayashida. Now, of course, those who know this, Victoria Yuzuki is a former, of course, Superfly champion, and that kind of plays out pretty well. But Victoria Yuzuki, as you all know, she has declared herself as the future ace of MARIGOLD. And of course, she is determined to prove people wrong. And this is why Rhea Seto has found her as a threat, feeling that her success has been overshadowing her. And of course, it might have been. Now, many people would have assumed in this match, Utami Ishida would have picked up the win. She is, of course, the ace of MARIGOLD, and not to mention, she is the current champion. She would have picked the win. But no one anticipated Victoria Yuzuki to pick up the win when she applied the crucifix. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Victoria Yuzuki picked up her first 2 points, which was a major upset. Now, again, like I said about Chanyota, even if Victoria Yuzuki does not win the tournament, she could cash in an opportunity for the Crimson Belt against Utami Ishida, and that's something I guess we could see down the road in the future for her, if whenever it's appropriate. So we'll see how things will progress. Now, this is only the morning show we just reviewed, so let's do the evening show of the Dream Star Grand Prix by MARIGOLD. We continue with more with MARIGOLD in part of the opening rounds. This is the evening show on August 2nd at the EDION Arena Osaka number 2. And of course, we continue with more of the Dream Star Grand Prix. Now, we already witnessed certain wrestlers already gained their first 2 points, and nothing too special about that just yet. Now, we have witnessed some, major, upsets, of course, like Mitsu Matsui defeating the former white belt champion, Chanyota defeating her friend and the current white belt champion, and of course Victoria Yuzuki defeating Utami Ishida. But you ask yourselves, how is that going to play out now moving forward? Well, let's see how things go for them in the evening show. Now, we did have 2 pre-show matches. The first one, we have Shino and Yuka Yamazaki. They take on Nagisa Tachibana and Komomo Minami. Now, of course, we did see Yuka Yamazaki picked up a good victory in the earlier show, but would that play out any well for this one? Well, apparently not this one, because it was Minami that picked up the win when she applied, of course, on Yamasaki. So that was a pretty good win right there. Now, our second pre-show, we have Minami Yuki teaming up with Hummingbird, taking on Megaton and Gigaton. Now, of course, it's no secret that Megaton has not been a very good, successful wrestler. We know she's trying. We know that she's been trying to go venture on her own ever since she was kicked out of Darkness Revolution. But like any other match, she ended up being the one taking the hit by Hummingbird by a pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we did the opening ceremony once again of the Dream Star Grand Prix and the roll call as always. Now, let's jump into the matches itself, beginning with the Star League. First, we have Chanyota versus Kizuna Tanaka. Now, of course, Chanyota picked up a very impressive upset victory against Mai Sakurai, but I didn't feel too much concern about Kizuna Tanaka because I know she is still trying to grow up, and not to mention she took some time off recently. But nonetheless, Chanyota was able to pick up the win when she applied a crossface, and I do see one of those potential winners in this league, but we'll see what happens. So she picked up her next 2 points, giving the total points of 2. So she's currently right now undefeated. Now, our next 2 matches are part of the Dream League. First up, we have Chiaki versus Victoria Yuzuki. Now, of course, Chiaki, as a member of Darkness Revolution, she would do whatever it takes to pick up the win by cheating her way through, using chairs, taking the fight outside the ring. But Victoria Yuzuki once again showed what she is capable of. But she was so impressive once again when she picked up the win, and just like that, when she did like a frontal twist move in the air, and I thought it was very impressive coming from her. And I think there's no doubt that she is the future ace of Stardom, and she picked up her next 2 points with the total points of 4, leaving Chiaki with the total points of 0. Now we continue more with the Dream League. We have Maria versus Kyoki Amori. Now, of course, Maria is unable to pick up her first win. Kyoki was able to pick up her first win. So you ask yourselves, will Kyoki pick up her next 2 points and be undefeated? Well, you most likely would have thought the same thing through. But Maria was able to successfully to pick up her first 2 points when she put Kyoki in a submission move, and she had no choice but to tap. And just like that, Maria picked up her first 2 points. Now, we jump back to the Star League, we have Mitsa Matsui versus Chika Goto. Now, of course, I mentioned before, much like Miku Anu, they are also people, they knew each other. And of course, Chiaki Goto has always had some history towards Mitsa Matsui. Mitsa Matsui has always been feeling like she's been the weak link out of everyone, especially those back when she was in At-Risk Girls, but now she's been picking up the success. But the real question is, will she pull it off? I mean, she could have, but it was, of course, Chika Goto that somehow surprised everybody when she applied a counter to her Masa Straw, and just like that, Chika Goto got her first 2 points, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over, giving, of course, Chika Goto with her first 2 points, leaving Mitsa Matsui still in the total points of 2. Now back to the Dream League, we have Rhea Seto versus Utami Ayashida. Now, of course, Rhea Seto would definitely look at this as an opportunity, despite the fact if she defeats her, there is a chance she could issue a challenge for the red belt, which is something I'm sure people could definitely want. But you cannot count out Utami Ayashida for who she is. She was able to pick up her first 2 points when she applied a German suplex on Rhea Seto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next 2 matches are part of the Star League. We have Nagisa Nozaki versus Mai Sakurai. Now, of course, it's no secret these 2 ladies know each other too well. If you guys remember, Nagisa Nozaki did challenge Mai Sakurai for the white belt, I think, early this year, and she was unsuccessful. Now, of course, Nagisa Nozaki could definitely defeat her and cash in an opportunity in the near future, but Mai Sakurai was able to defeat her one time. But the obvious question is, can she pull it off again? Well, the answer to that, she did when she applied the STF on her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So Mai Sakurai got her first 2 points with the total points of 2, leaving Nagisa Nozaki still at total points of 2. Now, our next match, still in the Star League, is Miku Anu versus Mirai. Now, it's no secret for those who know this, these 2 ladies have fought each other once before. As you know, they tried to compete for the inaugural white belt, which Miku Anu won last year. And now it's like history repeat itself, and now the question is, who's going to pick up the win? Now, Mirai was successful enough to win in her first match in the tournament. Miku Anu not so much, but you probably would think that someone has to pick up the win, but unfortunately it did not go exactly according to plan for both of them, because this match ended in a time limit draw after 15 minutes, so which is a real bummer, and just like that, it was over. Now, our main event, we jump back to the Dream League. We have Sareee Yamaoka taking on Mayu Iwatani, which is a very interesting match because, of course, Sareee Yamaoka has to know she's not facing just a wrestler. She's facing the icon, someone who's done it all in the previous promotion. And of course, you would have expected, for those who are Mayu Iwatani fans, you would think Mayu would pick up the win. No, it was Sareee Yamaoka who surprised us with the crucifix, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she picked up the win. And not to mention, she is currently undefeated. Now, here's another thing. Mayu Iwatani is the current Superfly champion. So, if somehow, by any means necessary, Sareee Yamaoka could not win this tournament, she could challenge Mayu Iwatani for the Superfly championship. And I think that's something we could definitely see in the future. So we'll see how things will go from here. So we'll pay attention to it. But as of right now, we'll end things here with MARIGOLD. We'll continue with more of it down the road. We're like right now in day 7 or 8 so far on the tournament. We're just right now doing the opening rounds. But as of right now, we're done with the reviews. Let's move on with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So as always, let's begin with some upcoming events. Now, Yoshi Promotion, Diana has announced that on August 31st at the Hulik Hall in Kyoto, there's going to be a tag match. We have what's her name? Aruka Omisaki teaming up with Unagi Sayaka, taking on Ayame Sazamura and what's her name? Yuko Sakurai, which is an interesting matchup because those who do know Yuko Sakurai and Unagi know each other too well. When they were aligned, when Unagi was still with Cosmic Angels, Yuko and of course Colors were allies to Cosmic Angels. Well, Saki still is, but the rest not so much anymore. Then we have, of course, the Action Wrestling for Dean 3 that takes place on September 6th. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have Angelico involved in this event, but however, they announced that he was replaced by none other, the man, the myth, the legend, Blue Panther. So that's going to be one heck of a match. Now, more on the Carolina Classic by DPW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling on the 14th of September. There's another qualifying match for the Carolina Classic 4-Way. We have Jake Something versus JD Drake. Now, RevPro, as announced for their Barcelona event for the like a bit of a trio thing, we have Luke Jacobs, Ethan Allen, and Leon Slater, known as the youngest guns in Chaos. They'll be participating as a team. Then finally, we have Jersey Championship Wrestling, JCW, knockouts on the 21st of September. Violence is Forever. Kevin Koo and Dominic Rini will take on Broner and Edwards. So that's pretty much it for our upcoming nets. Let's talk about some developments here. Sad news for all you Yoshi fans. If you're familiarized with Asuka Gado, Pro Wrestling Wave has announced that she has departed from the promotion due to her illness that sidelined her. So she basically will be no longer part of the promotion. All we can do is hopefully she recovers, and it's still unclear whether she'll return to pro wrestling or not. Now, Booker T has went on and explained that he's not a big fan of the gummy bear scene that took place in Forbidden Door, involving, of course, the Young Bucks. If you guys remember, they pulled out a bag and they thought it was thumbtacks, but it was the gummy bears. He's like, he was not a fan of that scene. I mean, I get that some people thought it was kind of too much, kind of ridiculous, kind of stupid. However you want to portray it. I mean, I don't think it matters, but yeah. Now, as you all know, there's been some developments revolving Raja Jackson, the son of former UFC fighter Rampage Jackson. As you all know, he put what's his name, Sicko Stu, in unconscious by beating up, and which led, of course, for WWE ID to cut ties with Knox Pro, a promotion based out of California. And apparently the wrestlers and MMA legends are now on the defense of Roger Jackson, and it's kind of weird. Some people say Roger Jackson should go to jail for what they did, and that's kind of interesting. But also, on related news involving Roger Jackson, apparently a promotion based out here, many of you may know this one, called Danger Pro Wrestling, but it was formerly known as Fist Combat. Apparently the promoter decided to put him in a match, but apparently the venue where they were supposed to have their event had decided to, hell no, we're not bringing him in. So basically Roger Jackson was banished from there. Now, some people criticize the promoter, Mikey Gordon, also known as Dirty Ron McDonald, that he only put him on his name for publicity stunt, because for a long time Mikey Gordon has been trying to get attention for years, and he feels like people are not talking to him. I know he had his fair issues with the news outlet in LA, the SoCal Uncensored, but I have to say, I don't know what he was thinking. I'm not a big fan of him at all. I mean, he's a bit strange. Even my brother told me the same thing about him. But yeah, but that's pretty much it. Now, an interesting development for those who know this, Yumiko Hotta is one of Saree's instructors that she trained, and she gave her specific thoughts about Sareee, also formerly known as Sareee, about being booed in Stardom. And let me put this out for you guys so you can, let me read it out for you guys so that way we can get a clearer understanding. So this is what she said. In my 40 years in the business, this is the first time I've seen a babyface booed this much. It's actually great achievement. That's exactly why I want Sareee to keep pushing through. And if anything happens, I'll beat them all up. I have to say, Yumiko Hotta is a very good observant. I mean, yeah, I mean, people really are giving into this. I mean, it's the first time that something like that's happened to her, but yes. So we'll see how that rolls. Now, Lex Luger, as for all you guys know, recently Lex Luger has been learning how to walk again. As you know, this was something that Diamond Dallas Page has been trying to help him because he's been in a wheelchair, and he strictly volunteered to help him out. And of course, he went on Busted Open Radio and talk about it. And this is what he said: just to be able to get out of my car and walk in the restaurant like a regular and have a seat with people, be able to go for a walk with my wife, things we all can take for granted. That's my goal. I don't expect to be running a marathon or anything, or put anything in the torture rack. So, yeah, I mean, I think it for Lex Luger is like he can't do the things that he want to do, but he's not saying I'm not looking for to run a marathon. I'm not looking for to put someone in a torture rack. I just want to do normal things. I mean, for him to walk with his wife, that's a normal thing. For him to go to a restaurant and sit next to people, that's another normal thing. He's not looking for anything big, just normal things that people would do once he started walking. I don't know if anybody or you know someone who's trying to get the ability to walk again, has been looking for those goals. And I have to say, I give Lex Luger a lot of credit. That's his goals. Like, he wants to do these normal things. He's not looking for the big things. He's looking for these normal things that he knows that he can do, that he wants to do. You know, and I give him a lot of credit for that. So we'll see how things will progress with Lex Luger in his recovery to walk. So we'll keep this one close monitor. But as of right now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you all know, we have AEW Collision, so a lot of things that's going to happen. As you probably know, we are still in the aftermath of the Forbidden Door. And I also am considering reviewing Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Now, I did mention in a previous episode that I may not be able to do so due to the timing of the whole thing. So I may look like most likely can do it now. So we'll see how that will progress. So stay tuned for that. And if there's anything else, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, we'll end things here. And I will say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.